Hey, my fifth graders! Today's language arts lesson is on comparative and superlative adjectives. Um, we have talked about it this year, and I'm sure once we do this lesson, you will be refreshed and remember everything that we learned, hopefully. And after we finish this video, you may complete page 56 of your language arts activity page. Here we go. All right, guys, comparative and superlative adjectives. Let's look at the rules. Rule number 1. We add ER to most adjectives to compare two nouns or pronouns. Let's look at an example of this, and we're going to use the example that is on page 56. The sun is closer to Earth than it is to Pluto. So you have to look, we use closer. We add ER to the end of close because we're comparing two things. We're comparing the sun to Earth. So because we're comparing those two things, we add ER to the end of close. All right, so that was the rule for comparative adjectives. Now let's look at the rule for superlative adjectives. We add EST to most adjectives to compare more than two nouns or pronouns. And let's look at our example for superlative adjectives on page 56. Mercury is the closest planet to the sun of all the planets. So we're comparing Mercury to all of the other planets. So we're comparing more than two things because we know there's more than two planets, right? So when we compare more than two things, we add EST to the end of the word. All right, so let's look at part A of your activity, page 56. The instructions say, write the correct form of the adjective in parentheses. So on each of these in parentheses, you'll have the base form of the adjective. And you have to decide whether we're going to add ER to the end of it or EST. So let's look at number 1. Light travels fast than sound. So the first thing you have to do is look at how many things you're comparing there. We're comparing light to sound. So how many things are we comparing? 2. So what do we add to the end of fast if we're comparing just two things? We add ER. So light travels faster than sound. So on the line, you would write faster. All right, now let's look at part B. And when we look at part B, you're going to notice that they made a little bit of a mistake. So let's look. The instructions for part B say, rewrite each sentence. Use the correct form of the adjective shown in the box. So look at 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. What do you see missing in the box? They forgot the adjective. So that's okay because you all are very creative and I bet you can come up with your own adjective. So let's look at number 6. Artificial light is blank than natural light for working around the clock. So when we're talking about light and one that helps you to work longer, what would be a good adjective? And there could be more than one answer here. I might choose bright. Artificial light is what than natural light? So how many things are we comparing? 2. Artificial light to natural light. So we know what are we going to add to the end of our adjective? ER. Artificial light is brighter than natural light for working around the clock. You do not have to write the sentences on this. I just want you to write the adjective that you've chosen, and you have to write it in the correct form with either ER on the end of it if you're comparing two things, or EST if you're comparing more than two things. There's your lesson on comparative and superlative adjectives. You may now complete page 56. If you have any questions or need any help, you know how to get in touch with me, and have a great day.